All right. So the essence. Okay, let me start by welcoming you to Ican case study May 2025 diet pre-scene analysis class. Ican May 2025 diet case study pre-scene analysis class. Okay. So why do we have pre-scene? I think that is where we should start from. Why do we have pre-scene? One of the reasons is that to meet up with global standard for testing for professional, accountancy professional exam. You know, the way other accountancy institutions are doing the exam in order for ICANN to meet up with it. So they also have to start giving students pre-scene case. That is part of the pre-scene. That is part of the case story. Okay, it's part of the case story. The pre-scene is the part of the case story, and so they have to give it to students in order to meet up with global best practice. And the other reason is to save time, you know. So other global bodies, accountancy institutions are saying that in real life you cannot ask your a professional, an analyst to just give you advice in just under 4 hours. So you have to give the professional ample time to do research, to know more about the industry, about the business. Okay, so that is one of the reasons. So you can do research, you can do some other analysis prior to the exam, and to also save part of the 4 hours time for the exam. You know, the total time for the exam is 4 hours. So part of the reading time will be saved. There's just 1 hour for reading time, 1 hour for computations, and 2 hours for report writing. That means 1 hour for reports on requirement one, 1 hour for reports on requirement two. So you would have saved some time on the reading time. Okay, so so we can say that for time management purpose, that is one of the reasons that we are given the pre-scene case. So what are we going to do tonight? Just like the purpose. So what we want to do is to be able, at the end of this class, each and every one of you should be able to understand every bit of information given in the pre-scene exhibit. You must be able to understand every bit and pieces of the information given in the pre-scene. Okay, and two, you must be able to have an idea of what the case is about. You must have an idea of what the case is about. You know, is it about manufacturing? Is it about oil and gas? Is it about agricultural business? Is it so? You must have an idea of what the business is about, possibly the industry it's operating and the background information of the business. You must have this information. And lastly, you can also have an idea of the possible direction the case could be going, you know, by looking at the tiny details, the little information we could get in the pre-scene. Then we should be able to deduce the possible direction that the case will likely be going. Okay, so how are we supposed to go into to do this? We are supposed to we are given 5 exhibits. So this is the list of exhibits that we are given. We have just 5 exhibits. We have exhibits on about you as a person in the exam, you and which will also come with your responsibilities. Then the Nigerian economy, we are given exhibits on the Nigerian economy. We are also given exhibits on the Nigerian diaper and sanitary pad industry. Then we are given information about the employer in the case, Defcon Manufacturing Limited. And we are also given exhibit 5, the response of the employer to environmental and sustainability concerns. So these are the 5 exhibits that we are given. And what we are supposed to do is we are supposed to read these exhibits one after the other, right? We are to read these exhibits one after the other, and that's what we should do. So I will see how we can manage the time. Okay, so we read the exhibit one after the other. So when someone, for instance, when someone, I mean, one of you in the student will read the exhibit, say exhibit 1 now. So while someone is reading that exhibit 1, I believe others should be jotting down points. Okay, others will be jotting down points. Maybe there is a point about a particular issue that you feel you know about, and you can tell us more about it. Okay, you jot it down. So after the reading, I believe many of you should have jotted down some points. Then I can now allow you to to make comments on that exhibit. I can allow you to make comments on that exhibit, and I can then make my own additional comment on the exhibit. And the reason is, at the end of the day, when about 5, maybe 10 of you plus myself, when we are able to make comments, when we are able to make comments, then we will have different perspectives, right? We have different perspectives about that particular exhibit, and as such, we have a solid understanding of what the exhibit is about, and we have solid understanding about the case itself. And the implication is that on the exam day, it will save us so much time to understand the case scenario itself, and it will save us time in reading the exhibit, in reading the present exhibit again. Okay, that is it. However, because of our time, I may have to read the exhibits myself, right, so that we can save a lot of time and give maybe 1 or 2 persons to make comments before I also make my own comment. Then at the end of the day, I will now allow my senior colleague, Mr. Ali, to make his own comment, then to also comment on the possible models that would be that could be that the examiner could test in the case. Okay, so I want you to pay attention. I want you to have your writing materials beside you. Okay, all right. I hope we can start now.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. So let's start. And I hope you can see my screen very clearly. Can you see my screen very clearly?
Yes, you can see it.
Okay, I have issue with some students unable to join. Okay. I have some students that have not been able to join the class. Okay. Ah. Oh, all right. All right, I will start. Exhibit 1. About you, Matthew Idemudia. You are Matthew Idemudia, an accounting graduate, writing the professional level of Ican examination. You are employed as finance and business analyst by Defcon Manufacturing Limited. You report to Tafa Gambari, the company's director of finance. Your responsibilities include preparing detailed financial analysis and reports on the performance of the company, analyzing the company's financial statement to identify areas of weaknesses and profiling likely solutions to correct the anomalies. Next, assessing operational and strategic business proposals to see how each aligns with the company's strategic objectives and impact on business and financial risks. Next, assessing the company's financial and business forecast together with the assumption upon which they are based to form judgments, conclusions, and recommendations in form of reports to the board. Analyzing the company's internal and external business environment and advising the board on the company's strengths and weaknesses compared to the competitors and opportunities and threats prevalent in the environment. Next, advising the board and management on sustainability issues and assisting in the preparation of the company's annual sustainability report to stakeholders. And lastly, drafting reports for your boss based on the operational and strategic business analysis you have carried out. Carrying out these responsibilities effectively demands that you keep yourself abreast with the development in the accounting and taxation space and the business environment, both nationally and internationally. Okay, so this is the end of exhibit 1. So I will allow one or two persons, I will allow just one or two or three or maybe 5 persons to quickly make one or two comments on the exhibit before I make comment on it. Okay, so the floor is open. If you want to, you can let me know, you can signify, maybe you unmute yourself and
No.
unmute yourself and make your comment. All right.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And thank you for making yourself available. So first and foremost, from my observation and probably from previous studies, I would want to establish the fact that, firstly, this is an internal report.
Okay, so why did you say that?
The person I will be reporting to, me, I am Matthew Idemudia. The person I want to report to, I'm so sorry, I'm not with the material and I'm on the road.
Okay.
Is a, let me say, a senior director of finance or thereabout for the organization where I am employed.
Okay.
And from studies also, I noticed that when writing reports, for external reports, you are most likely going to start with a disclaimer. But for internal report, it is not required. I want to establish that first. Then secondly, if you look at the first to 4 part of the exhibit 1, where you need to check the performance and position of the organization. I think that is pointing towards financial ratio analysis and, if possible, trend analysis. The other part, they mentioned analyzing something internal and external. From studies also, I know that internal has to do with strength and weakness. External has to do with usually opportunity and threats, which means it's possible that this case will be pushing us or dragging us towards a SWOT analysis or thereabouts. Then the other one is sustainability reports. From studies also, I think sustainability report has to do with governance, economy, and some other things outside financials that organizations should report. I'm just trying to see basically. Then in the end part, where they mentioned we must come with the knowledge of accounting and taxation. Maybe as we read this exhibit further, we'll be able to analyze a bit, though I have gone through it. And what that is telling me, looking at the kind of company we're dealing with or the industry, it is very, very possible that it is very, very possible. It's very, very, so sorry, I was a bit distracted. It is very, very possible that we'll be looking at impact of probably tax tariff on importation. As we go further, that will be able to tell us. Then the accounting part, probably inventory. Let me not take much of our time so that others can also talk. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your comment. Any other comment from any other person?
Actually, hello, sir.
Hello, I can hear you. Go on.
Actually, you have said it all. Actually said 80% of what the SBT is talking about. I just want to say, in addition, analyzing the external environment, in addition to the opportunities and threats, we're also going to be expecting to use some other analysis, external analysis like PESTLE analysis to analyze the political environment and also the economy, because I'm seeing that the thing is talking about so much about the naira devaluation, also talking about the escalating inflation that we are facing presently. So we're also going to look in on those areas. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other comments? Any other comments? The last comment, possibly.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Please, sir. We don't know, maybe we are late or something. I think I dropped a chat on WhatsApp and another person too is on the WhatsApp trying to complain about the connecting. I was just able to connect now. So I'm asking that, hope I have not missed anything.
We just look at it. This is exhibit 1. You have not missed anything. Do you have any comments, please?
No, sir. Just want to confirm. Never.
This is just exhibit 1.
Okay,
Any other comments? Any other comments?
Sorry, sir. Excuse me, sir. Please, can you try to attend to that person on WhatsApp? The person I'll drop a chat for you on WhatsApp.
I'm already on live class. I can't be attending to anything now. I
Okay,
can
sir.
make anything yes. I can't be attending, going back and forth. I'm already on, and I have over 30 something students on this live class, so I can't be doing that. I can attend to it after the class. Okay.
The person
all right.
could not join. That's right. Okay.
No, I will attend to that later, please.
All right, no problem, sir.
All right. So
Thank you.
now this is exhibit 1, and for those who have made comments, yes, thank you for your comment. Okay. So the exhibit is about you and is telling us what you will be doing in the exam. And just like the first person said, because you are employed by the company, right? You are employed by the company, and that is one. That means you are an employee of that company. That makes you, and you are reporting to a director of the company. That makes the fact that the report you will be writing will not be going outside that company. It will still be within the company. It will be used within the company. That makes the type of report an internal report. So what is the implication of that? Usually, if it were to be external report, there will be need for you to disclaim the report. There will be need for you to disclaim the report. And putting a disclaimer on an external report attracts just 1 mark in the exam. But since it is an internal report, that 1 mark becomes a bonus to everybody. So we can establish that this is a typical internal report, and there is no more changes. So the only thing is just take away the disclaimer, and you can use the format you have been taught in the class. Just the only thing that you should remove is just the disclaimer, and you can continue with that report format. So that being said, one other point that I find very useful is the fact that we are being told that you are employed as a finance and business analyst. So if you look at that, your role in a brief, you will see that as a finance analyst, then you can ask yourself, what will I be doing, or what will a finance analyst be doing? A finance analyst will likely be involved in maybe preparation of the financial reports of the organization, analyzing the financial statements, then maybe doing some kind of data analysis, maybe analyzing investments, okay, maybe preparing budgets, forecasts, and maybe be involved in risk management. Okay, a financial analyst may also be involved in risk management. And for the fact that you also double as a business analyst, that could mean that a business analyst may be involved in analyzing the business operations, looking at the operations of the business from the input activities to production activities, and to marketing and sales activities, or output activities. So as a business analyst, you may be your role may involve that you have to identify issues in these business operations. You may be involved in identifying issues in these business operations. You may also be involved in technology implementation. You may be asked that, okay, the business needs technology to improve on the business operation, and you may be called upon to advise on which technology the business should go for, and maybe you may be involved in implementation of the uses of the technology chosen. And you may also be required to do market analysis, or market research. So these are possible things that you may be doing by being the finance and business analyst, in the organization. However, your responsibilities on the other side give us more detail on what you will likely be doing. The first one says that you'll be involved in, preparing detailed financial analysis. Okay, so just like the other person said, okay, so again, this is possible pointer that if you are to be doing financial statement analysis, that means one of the requirements may demand that you do financial statement analysis. That is just it. So one of the requirements may demand that you do that. Okay. Then of course, when you are doing that, you are going to be identifying where the performance of the organization is going fine. Okay, I can say where the performance of the organization is improving, increasing, or on the other side is declining or is bad. Okay, so when it is improving, it is good. That means it is a strength to the organization. And when the performance or ratios of the organization is declining, that could mean a weakness to the organization. And of course, if you have identified those things, then you can give your advice on how to correct or improve on the strength, or continue with the strength. Okay, we are also told that you will also be your responsibility also demand that you help assess operational and strategic business proposals. Operational and strategic business proposals. Okay, so business proposals could come in different directions. We can say maybe two major different directions. I mean, based on what we have seen in the past. Okay, so it can come in two different directions. The first one is that it will come as when the directors, when they propose to invest in maybe a plant and machine to improve on the business operations. Okay, that is an investment, a kind of investment proposal. Okay, and in such case, of course, you are going to be needing an investment appraisal technique, possibly an MPV technique to appraise such projects. On the other hand, it is also possible that because as at this point we don't really know anything about the business, we don't have any information based on the exhibit one we are just looking at. So it is also possible that a customer, a major customer, may bring a proposal or contract to your employer to produce certain products in large quantity. Okay, that is also a form of proposal. But the whole thing there is that when we have proposals like this, when we have business proposals like this is a pointer to that we may have a scenario whereby we may need to do a kind of financial data analysis, as we have discussed in the class, which centers on appraisal of business investments. Okay, I mean, proposal could also come in form of, say that the merger and acquisition is also a form of appraisal that could come. So you may want to determine maybe among 2, 3, or maybe 4 or 5 companies that the business intend to acquire. You may be asked to determine the most suitable value to be paid on that acquisition. Okay, you may also be required to look at their financial performance and to see the one with the with much more better prospects in terms of profitability. Okay, so that is how the business proposal could that is what it could mean, right? And then the other one is to analyze business environment. To analyze business environment, just like the other person have said, the business environment can be basically classified into two. We could have the internal business environment, And when we look at the internal business environment, we are going to be looking at two major things. We are going to be identifying the strengths and weaknesses of the organization. That is what we can get from the internal business environment. We can look at the business, strengths and weaknesses. It helps us to identify the strengths and weaknesses, which is within the control of such organization. And for the external environment, which is the other part of the business environment, we'll likely be having the looking at the opportunities and threats which are going to be outside the control of the organization of DEFCON. So again, this environmental analysis is a pointer to the fact that we may be having a business analysis requirement before us. Okay, the one of the requirements may ask us to do business analysis, where we have to look at the operations of the business and the business environment, the strategies, and some other things. And if you are to do that, because we are considering the external environment, we may have to apply strategic business models such as PESTLE to classify the factors in the external environment. And after we must have identified those factors, we can then classify them as either opportunities or what? Or threats. Then we can use the under the SWOT model. So it could mean that we may be using the PESTLE and the SWOT model together, still in the external and still in the business environment. We may also have a situation whereby we look at the industry, because the industry in which the business operates in is part of the business environment. The industry in which it operates in is part of the business environment. So when we look at the industry, one major thing we may see in the industry is one major issue we may find in the industry is competition. Okay, it's basically competition. And when we talk about competition, we may also need a strategic business model to analyze competition and its impact on the on DEFCON. Okay, and a very suitable model for that will likely be Porter's 5 forces model, to look at the impact of competition on the business. Okay, so with this, they also talk about sustainability issues. So sustainability could also mean compliance with environmental regulations and policies. Okay, compliance with environmental regulations and policies. That is where sustainability reporting and concerns could be going to. So you have to be vigilant about that. So when you have those that information, then you know how to use it in your of course, you are going to be preparing your report, and that is in fact, that is one major thing you are going to be doing in this exam. So that is all about that exhibit number 1. Okay, so we can quickly move to exhibit number 2 now. Exhibit number 2. Okay, so we have exhibit 2, and exhibit 2 is on the Nigerian economy. So I will read. One key development since the 2023 general elections is the challenging economic situation in Nigeria. The challenges in turn, have adversely affected the country's socioeconomic landscape and macroeconomic performance. However, the new government has continued to implement various economic reforms, such as flotation of the naira, removal of petroleum subsidy, etc., to address the socioeconomic challenges, optimize the country's potential, and attain crucial developmental objectives. These reforms seem to have temporarily constrained the performance of real sector, thus suppressing overall economic outcomes. Furthermore, the Russia-Ukraine crisis and the resulting disruptions in the global supply chain, alongside energy and food crisis, accentuated economic vulnerability throughout the year. The hikes in the global policy rate in 2023 also had consequential impacts on investment and productivity in Nigeria, thus impeding economic growth. As a result of the above, the Nigerian economic growth remained fragile in 2023, marked by escalating inflationary pressures, exchange rate depreciation, and fiscal constraints. These factors hindered productivity, curtailed performance of the real sector, and diminished the positive impact of growth outcomes on the quality of life for Nigerians. Though Nigeria has the potential to enhance local food and livestock production, the nation still relied heavily on imported agricultural goods to fulfill growing domestic demand as a result of insecurity and terrorist activity that is impeding farming activities. Please let me take that again. Though Nigeria has the potential to enhance local food and livestock production, the nation still relied heavily on imported agricultural goods to fulfill growing domestic demand as a result of insecurity and terrorist activity that is impeding farming activities. This dependence not only strained available foreign exchange reserves, but also contributed to an escalation of imported inflation due to the depreciation of the local currency. Imported food inflation has been stated to average 20.4% in 2023, up from 17.8% in 2022. As a result of the supply chain disruptions and impeded farming activities, food inflation has increased to 33% in 2023. The elimination of petroleum subsidies also had direct effect on fuel and transportation costs, thus increasing both food and non-food prices, as evidenced by the upward trajectory of inflation indices. In conjunction with global energy prices, the removal of petrol subsidies significantly increased production expenses for majority of micro, small, and medium enterprises that heavily depend on petrol as a primary input. In prior periods, the expansion of the Central Bank of Nigeria's CBN ways and means mechanism contributed to inflation by enlarging the money supply, thereby intensifying pressure on the naira's value and eroding the purchasing power of the populace. Challenges in the economy. Unemployment. One of the most pressing concerns for Nigeria's economy is the high level of unemployment. The youth unemployment rate remains high, contributing to social unrest and instability. The government has made efforts to address this issue through various youth empowerment programs and initiatives aimed at creating jobs. Inflation. Inflation is another challenge for Nigeria's economy. Rising food stabilization prices have put a strain on household budgets and contributed to social unrest in some parts of the country. The government has taken steps to address this issue by implementing monetary policies aimed at stabilizing prices. Exchange rate volatility. While inflation has been on the rise, eroding the purchasing power of Nigerians and making it difficult for businesses to plan and invest, the exchange rate has also been volatile, leading to uncertainty in the business environment. Addressing these issues will be crucial in restoring confidence in the economy. Infrastructure. Infrastructure remains another key area of concern for Nigeria's economy. Decades of underinvestment have left the country with poor road networks, inadequate power supply, and limited access to clean water. This hampers economic growth and deters investment from both domestic and foreign sources. Opportunities in the economy. Agriculture. The agricultural sector has shown resilience despite challenges such as climate change and insecurity in rural areas. There has been an increase in investment in agribusinesses and modern farming techniques, which is expected to improve food security and boost economic growth. Industrial development. Nigeria's tech industry continues to show great potential for driving economic growth. Nigerian tech industry continues to show great potential for driving economic growth. Startups are emerging across various sectors, including fintech, e-commerce, healthcare, and digital services that can drive innovation and improve efficiency among others, which are attracting significant investment both locally and internationally. Renewable energy. With abundant sunlight and wind resources, investing in solar and wind energy can boost power generation and reduce dependency on fossil fuels, mining, and solid minerals. Nigeria's untapped mining resources. Developing the mining sector can contribute to economic diversification. Business environment. There are many government policies that affect the manufacturing sector, including the diaper and sanitary pad industry. These policies include import tariffs, tax incentives, regulations that impact production and distribution. In addition, government regulations regarding environmental pollution, emissions, and waste disposal are becoming stricter, and there is growing emphasis on sustainable and eco-friendly products. Therefore, manufacturers are increasingly adopting environmentally friendly practices and materials. Manufacturers are also required to comply with other laws and regulations such as labor laws, health and safety regulations, and standards. The political landscape in Nigeria has been relatively stable, with seamless transition from one civilian government to another. This relative stability, together with growth in population, leads to investors' confidence in the economy and friendly business environment. However, the business environment has been challenged by a number of factors such as erosion in consumer purchasing power, which results in low demand for manufactured products, high exchange rate resulting in high cost of manufacturing inputs. Interest rate has gone up astronomically, which has led to low investment in the manufacturing sector. Removal of petroleum products subsidy, leading to high inflation and further reduction in demand for products. The insecurity due to terrorist activities and clashes between landholders and farmers, leading to drop in the production of food items and a further worsening of inflation. The high unemployment rate and erosion of purchasing power occasioned by high inflation being experienced in the country. Inadequate energy supplies and high cost of diesel to power generators for continuous production of goods, which has led to some companies winding down their operations in the country and moving to other countries. Deficits in infrastructure. Most of the roads are so bad that vehicles transporting goods from one location to another may spend days before arrival at destinations. This, coupled with the risk of kidnapping by terrorists, has hampered business progress. As a result of the preceding factors, manufacturers are finding it difficult to finance acquisition of modern technology to improve their manufacturing processes, like their counterparts in other climes. Therefore, innovation and sustainable production practices, which can lead to more efficient production processes, new products, and high-quality products, continue to elude the sector. And that is the end of the exhibit number 2. Please, you will permit me to allow one of you. So the next exhibit, someone will have to read from the class, because reading and explaining will definitely drain me out very quickly and may affect the length to which I can make my own comments. So going forward, I will ask someone to read from the audience. All right, so that is exhibit number 2. So let me get comments from 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 persons in the class. All right, thank you. Who is going first? All right, so let me quickly make the comment if no one is ready to make any comment. But just like I said, you making comments before my comments will make us to have different perspectives to the case. Okay,
Hello,
so hello. All right.
Yes, sir. Okay, let me it's just like a brief one. Relatively to what you have discussed earlier on my responsibilities, I believe that this SB2 is just totally talking about the Nigerian economy, talking about the opportunities and also the challenges facing the economy, which also affect my company, the business that they're into. It opens our eye to the areas of presenting us the challenges in the economy, both unemployment, inflation, exchange rates, and infrastructure. It also goes further to open our eyes to the opportunities in the economy, which our company can embrace in or even diversify into to embrace growth. Things like agricultural sector, industrial development, renewable energy, mining, and so on. Because one of the challenges that the company is facing is one is power. Also, in the area of power, when you talk about area of power, some of the industries that have petroleum as their input to power their gen and so on, it also presents us with opportunity like renewable energy, which is investing in solar and thereabout. So it goes further to present us with the challenges, also bring to us the opportunities that we can use to convert these challenges to converting the challenges that we have on ground to become maybe opportunity for us to grow in the business. To me, that is the summary.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your comment. Any other comments?
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
welcome.
addition to what my brother have just said, I believe this
Okay.
XB2. Are you hearing me, sir?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, sir. I believe this XB2 just talk directly about external factors. That's about opportunity and threats to the business. And as he highlighted categorically, the opportunity is there and also the threat to the business is there. So it's the summary. What I look at it is externally, it's not internally. It's based on external, that's threat and opportunity. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you for your comment. Any other comments? Any other comments? No other comment, right? Okay. All right.
Hello,
So,
sir.
hello. Go on.
Hello, sir.
Hello, I can hear you loud and clear. Go on.
Okay, you can hear me now, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I was wondering, why would they list out the strength and the weaknesses or thereabouts in this exhibit? And I am thinking that it is very, very possible, because they have listed these things, that they want us to even analyze. Why do we think some of these things they have listed are either strength or weakness or thereabout? You get, so it is possible, whether we're using PESTLE or SWOT, because they have listed, just my thought anyway, I thought I should share, that they might now tell us to analyze why we think this is a strength, this is an opportunity. Because if we go by, I think in the next this thing, there's one of the threats that was listed there. I was wondering, but when we get there, we'll discuss about that. My take, sir.
All right. Any other contribution before I go on?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, go.
Okay. I just want to point out where the Nigerian economy is talking about bringing out stricter policies in respect of environmental reporting. For me, I think there is also need for us to know how this company, to know how environmental reporting is being done, the disclosure, that is to look at even the CROS reporting of the company, so that we also be in compliance with the Nigerian requirements in terms of the environment and social responsibility reporting.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comment before I go on? All right. Okay. Someone is talking, right?
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
Go on. Good evening.
So, in addition to what my colleagues, most of them have said, I also want to point out the insecurity part of it, as in the terrorist activities that has been affecting agricultural produce. Like, for instance, in the north, where people no longer visit the farm to give us this agricultural produce. Rather, we are relying on agricultural produce from maybe the southwest, and we're reliant on imported agricultural goods, which is affecting the economy, growth, and this thing. So I think basically that's just what I want to add to it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. So that will be the last. So let me make my comments now. Now you can see that this exhibit is on the Nigerian economy, right? And by implication, this the business environment will be impacted by these Nigerian economic issues. So we have a link with business environment, right? Which then means that within the business environment, right, there will be impact on internal and as well as the industry, the particular industry in which your employer operates in. So there's a link, which means whatever happens to the Nigerian economy, we have direct impact on the business environment, and we have direct impact on the internal and the industry, and the particular industry in which the employer operates in. Okay, so let's get that straight. So when we are talking, even when anybody wants to make any comment going forward, we should start thinking, we should start linking it to the impact on the industry in which the employer operates in, and the impact on the business. So when I say industry, and you also know that whatever happens to that industry by implication, we have direct impact on the what? On the employer. That is the link. So what I'm trying to say is that whatever happens to the Nigerian economy, we affect the industry in which the employer operates in, and we also affect what? And we also have direct impact on the employer. Let's establish that. Now, in that SCB, we were told that the current administration, they made two major economic reforms. What are those major economic reforms? The flotation of the naira, as well as the removal of petroleum subsidy, and the implication. So let's push the for a minute. Let me just leave the exhibit, and let's think about 2 years ago when the Tinubu's administration came in. And on May, when he was given his inauguration speech, when he said petroleum subsidy is gone, what happened? Immediately, the petroleum marketers, what happened? They adjusted and increased their petroleum prices, the prices of both petrol and diesel. And immediately they did that. What happened to so many things? Prices of virtually everything went up. Prices of everything went up. And people could not afford to buy all the basic things that they need to live a healthy life. That is to people. People could not afford, products, goods and services that they need to live their healthy life. They could not afford it. And the implication of that is that, and you could also remember that it was this same policy that taught many Nigerians the real economics, how to apply economics in living. By the time I'm just relating it to real life scenario. That time people started going for different food items. At a point, everybody went for rice. What happened? Immediately, the price of rice went up to the roof. And after that, people now discover that maybe there are alternatives to rice. The very good alternative to rice is spaghetti. And everybody discovered spaghetti and rushed to spaghetti. What happened to spaghetti? Within 2 weeks or 1 month, spaghetti price went to the roof again, and people could not afford to eat spaghetti again. And they started looking for different alternatives. And the implication is that many businesses, let's say for instance, those businesses that import or sell rice, what do you think will happen to them? Because customers are now price sensitive. They now understand the importance of going for alternative when the price of their major product is high. They now understand. So those who want to buy rice, those who are selling rice, they were unable to continue in business because customers nearly abandoned that business. They abandoned that product. So it affected their bottom line. Okay? And that was what happened. prices of production costs went to the roof. In fact, there were reports during the first year anniversary. There were reports that many businesses had shut down and left the country. That was the direct impact of this policy of these two policies on the Nigerian economy, and by implication on different industry and on companies. And I want to now say that these policies would have direct impact on your employer, on DEFCON, which means that in 2023, for instance, so maybe at the end of the day, we may be given their financial statement. You will notice that in 2023 or say 2024, maybe later part of 2023, the revenue of the company may drop, and there may be increase in the cost of production of the company, which means that we have been given the contextual reasons for this, for what you will discover in their financial statement. The contextual reason for that led to their performance in these years. Okay, so that is the impact of the flotation of the naira and removal of petroleum. And they made a statement. They said, look at it. They said these policies have temporarily constrained the real sector. So what is the real sector? Those businesses into production of goods and services. And they are being specific. Temporarily, which means it is possible that these effects that we are seeing in the economy are temporary. They will wade off over time, and things will get back to normal. Things we could improve over time. So it is possible, and I want us to hold that on one side. Because it is also possible that because of the impact, we were told that it had resulted in failure on complaints, and many complaints are winding up. Okay, so it is also possible that your employer is also planning. The directors are planning to wind up the complaint. They are planning to shut down the complaint. Okay, so you may have to remind them that this may just be temporary effects of this policy. So they may have to see some other opportunities that could come at the end of the day. So they also mentioned other issues that had impact on the Nigerian economy. And the first is the Russia-Ukraine crisis or war, which started in 2022. Remember in 2022 when the war started, and I'm aware of the fact that majority of the vessels, the big vessels that bring petroleum and some other food products, usually pass through a very big canal, very close to along Russia and Ukraine. And because at the beginning of this war, missiles, bombs were flying up and down, so these vessels could not pass through that canal. So they had to stop before the canal, right? And this disrupted many economies globally, including Nigeria. If you could remember, because petroleum products could not come in, so the little we have, the prices went up because so many people are chasing. Hello.
Hello, sir. So
Yes, I can hear you. Go on.
Yeah, I have a comment at this junction, sir. I think DEFCON is a manufacturing company, not an agro-allied company. So discussing
Of course, I've not said that.
discussing agriculture under this issue, I hope it's not outside the box.
No, I've not
Because,
said anything about agriculture business now.
Because when you say though Nigerian has a potential to enhance local food and livestock production, nations still rely heavily on imported
Hello.
agricultural goods. I'm with you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello,
Okay,
Mr.
I'm
Ali.
hearing you, sir.
Yeah, may I come in, sir?
Okay, go on.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pity I was unable to share my little slide that I judged for you. But at the end of the lecture, I'm going to, or maybe in the middle of the lecture, I'm going to post the material on the platform so that you can be able to flow with it. So, my own expert opinion and justice to exhibit 2, in addition to what my team lead, Mr. Lekon, have said, is that you'll be required, if possible, in the forthcoming exam, to do SWOT analysis and then PESTLE analysis of exhibit 2. SWOT analysis and PESTLE analysis of exhibit 2. Let me quickly share that to our platform. I don't know if Mr. Lekon can get it out to other participants that join us outside equity. So in the SWOT analysis, we are going to discuss, highlight the strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats facing the Nigerian economy. And when you look at that SWOT analysis, it's a very simple thing and direct. You can check the platform now. I've done the SWOT analysis for you, the remark and recommendation, and I've done the PESTLE analysis for you. So just to look at it, you will see in exhibit 2, I give you a highlight, a summary of the Nigerian economy that was provided by the examiner. Turbulent economy since 2023 to date. We have no significant positive improvement on the macroeconomic indices. Despite all the numerous socioeconomic reforms that Nigerian government have done, we have declining economy and lack of developmental potentials. We have so many things that are caused, including the Russia-Ukraine. The reason why we have the Russia-Ukraine uh, crisis mentioned in that case is because these two countries are one of the major countries across the globe that supply food and grains. So the agriculture, despite the fact that they are fighting war, they are still supporting a lot of our economy. But now there is a destruction in the food supply. We have food security challenges due to the ongoing Cold War that they have not put an end to. So we have increasing global policy rates. So that one was mentioned too. So apart from the Nigerian economy that I give you and the overview, so what you are now expected to do is to do the SWOT analysis of the Nigerian economy. So what are the strengths of the Nigerian economy? We have 1, price stabilization and monetary policy by the government. 2, good investment of government on farming techniques, improvement in innovation, increasing startup businesses, attraction of foreign direct investment. We have abundant sunlight and wind, which they are underutilized. So profitable mining and solid mineral resources, that one was on time, but we have it. It's still our strength. The weaknesses of what are the weaknesses? Eroded purchasing power of Nigerian citizens, over reliance on imported goods, deficit infrastructure, restricted access to basic needs, poor roads and low life expectancy, depreciation of the exchange rate. All these things are some of the things that the examiner mentioned as weaknesses of Nigerian economy. So what are the opportunities? Some of the opportunities that are bound in the Nigerian economy, to mention just a few, are potential increase in local food supply. We have 2, profitable and untapped mining and solid mineral resources. But we are informed, duly informed, that the mining and solid mineral resources is underutilized. The government is not looking towards this direction. And this mining and solid mineral resources can create a lot of jobs, diversification of the economy, economic viability and growth. So we have abundant labor and increasing population. That's an opportunity for the company. So what are the threats facing Nigeria? The threats that you are going to categorize, I've done it for you already, is We have increasing imported food inflation rate from 7.8% in 2022 to 20.4% in 2023. Pronounced insecurity, terrorism and kidnapping. Another one, decreasing farming activities. And this one was attributed to the unrest situation in the country. So we have destruction of supply chain of food. And that one bring about what we call food inflation rate of 33.9% in 2023 to date. So at the same time, another threat facing Nigeria is the issue of the fuel subsidy removal, which my team lead have done justice to. The fuel subsidy removal caused a lot of myriad of challenges and multidimensional problems. And this one caused a lot of hardship. It's affecting the performance of most companies operating in all sectors, including DEFCON that operate in the manufacturing industry. And that's the reason why this crisis of fuel subsidy removal bring about increase in operational costs. And a lot of companies are collapsing. So we have volatile foreign exchange. So once we have that, we have done the SWOT analysis of SCB2. So what are the remarks? So we see the remarks that I put there, that the present economic situation and business cycle is turbulent, but offer future potential profitability. And that was the reason why Mr. Lekon was saying that there is possibility that the company too might be on the verge of contemplating of leaving the industry. They said no, because of the so many measures that the government is putting in place, there is potential profitability and stability of the economy. And secondly is that we have the declining economic condition is affecting both individual and firms. So it has a great effect on life expectancy, work-life balance, and many more, and cause a lot of unemployment in the country, including insecurity. So what are the recommendations? I gave you about 7 recommendations of what the government can do. Let me mention about 1 or 2. One, the government should invest heavily on renewable energy to further boost the power supply and reduce reliance on petroleum. So we have to invest in renewable energy. 2, the mining and mineral resources sector is on tap and underutilized. So there is need to focus on that areas too. And with respect to DEFCON that is operating here, they have to look at a lot of strategy that they can use for expansion, stability, survival, and achieve high return on investment and capital employed. So we have recommendation there. So in SCB2, another important thing that is germane here is the PESTLE analysis that you will see in the material I sent on the platform. So the PESTLE means the political, economic, social, technology, ecological, and legal. So what are the political forces? Stable political climate, environmental pollution, emissions, and waste disposal law. Those are the things that they mention, because you must limit yourself to the information provided in the case. So what are the economic forces? We have loss of consumer purchasing power, low demand for manufacturing products, high interest rates, low investment in manufacturing industry, high inflation. We have high unemployment rates, a drop in food supply, low fuel demand. The social forces, insecurity is there, terrorism and kidnapping is there, communal clashes, low farming activities. We have bad roads and poor infrastructures. The technological forces, we have low technology, poor investment in technology and innovation by the government, lack of new product development, poor and efficient operational system, poor energy supply, increasing demand for sustainable and eco-friendly products, and we have increasing population. So under your legal forces, the case provider, we have tax law, labor law, healthcare and safety laws, environmental and sustainability law, and business regulation law. So once you've done your PESTLE analysis, you'll be able to know that this PESTLE analysis contain the stakeholders, all those institutional forces that are difficult to control, which determine the success and failure of any organization. So DEFCON now have to ensure that they do constant environmental scanning, deliberate opportunity identification, and use their strengths to leverage and exploit all this opportunity and reduce all the weaknesses and threats facing the company. So the remarks of what the SCB2 is all about concerning pestle analysis is there. I gave you there. And what are the recommendations that we have to do? All the recommendations are there. So in summary, what we are expected to do is to do SWOT analysis and pestle analysis of SCB2, in addition to what my team lead have stated. So that's my contribution. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for your for your um for your comments. And I think there's no need for me to make any further comments on the SCB2. Okay, so we will have to go to exhibit number 3 now. Exhibit number 3. Let's go to exhibit number 3. All right. Please, someone should read from the audience. Someone should read for us, please.
Sorry, can you hear me? Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. The Nigerian diaper and sanitary pad industry. A diaper or nappy is a type of underwear that allows one to pass stool or urine in a discreet manner. When diapers become soiled, they require changing. Diapers are primarily worn by babies. However, they can also be used by adults with incontinence or in certain circumstances where access to a toilet is unavailable. These include the elderly, those with physical or mental disability, people with medical problems, and people working in extreme conditions such as astronauts. A diaper is made up of synthetic disposable materials or clothes, whilst disposable diapers are made up of absorbent chemicals and are thrown away after use. Washable diapers are made of several layers of fabric such as hemp, cotton, and bamboo, and are washable and reusable. As a result of advancements in manufacturing technologies and advocacy for green manufacturing, there has been an improvement in the design, biodegradability, and safety of diapers. Therefore, its use has gained immense acceptance across Nigeria. The global diaper market has been estimated to reach 69.5 billion US dollars in 2020, and this has been projected to reach 114.3 billion by 2027, exhibiting a compound annual growth rate of 8.1% between 2022 to 2027. Women's sanitary napkins, also known as sanitary pads, are made of absorbent items and are worn by women primarily for the purpose of absorbing menstrual blood. They comprise numerous layers of quilted cotton fabric or other superabsorbent polymers and plastics. They are manufactured in various shapes and sizes with different absorption capabilities. The global sanitary pad market was put at a value of 23.663 billion US dollars in 2020 and has been projected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 4.7% between 2021 to 2026. Therefore, with an estimated population of about 220 million people and an estimated national growth rate of 5.7% per annum, Nigeria has a large, growing, and sustainable market for sanitary pads, baby and adult diapers. Production of sanitary pads and diapers in Nigeria is estimated to be less than 20% of the demand, and the rest are being imported into the country. Currently, over 4 billion naira worth of diapers were being imported annually into the country, which is detrimental to the economy. The intention of the government is to stop importation and see how available local resources could be used, especially as the country has some companies that are into petrochemicals that can provide the needed raw materials for the sector. According to a one-time permanent secretary of the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, the diaper, sanitary pads, and napkins wipe. According to a one-time permanent secretary of the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, the diapers, sanitary pad, napkins, and wipes industry is a strategic tool for national development, particularly in areas of job creation and economic growth. He further described the sector as a developing category with strong growth prospects, considering the high fertility and birth rate of Nigerian women, estimated by the United Nations International Children Emergency Funds, UNICEF, to be 5.9 million babies annually. The shortfall in supply is reversible since sanitary pads and diapers production is one of the most viable industries that can be established in Nigeria, and with government plan to make the production of sanitary pad and diapers a national developmental issue, there is opportunity for investment in the industry. This is because all the raw and packaging material inputs can be sourced locally. Although the technology for the production of sanitary pads and diapers is imported, the production is not sophisticated. The technology can easily be transferred to experienced workforce in Nigeria. Opportunities and challenges in the industry. The following are the opportunities and challenges that have been identified in the sanitary pad and diaper industry. Opportunities. These include 1. High demand. With a growing population and increasing awareness of hygiene, the demand for sanitary pads and diapers is on the rise. The high birth rate and other uses contribute to the increasing need for diapers. 2. Local production potential. There's a significant supply gap with a substantial shortfall between demand and current local production of sanitary pads and diapers annually. This gap presents a lucrative opportunity for local manufacturers to meet the demand and reduce dependency on imports. 3. Technological advancements. Improvements in manufacturing technologies have enhanced the design, biodegradability, and safety of these products, making them more appealing to consumers. 4. Government support. The Nigerian government has shown interest in supporting local production to reduce import dependency and boost the economy. Threats. These include 1. Economic challenges. High inflation rates and the rising cost of living has made sanitary products less affordable for many Nigerians. This has led to the emergence of a sachet economy, where products are sold in smaller and more affordable quantities. 2. Competition from imports. Despite the potential for local production, imported products still dominate the market. This can lead to price fluctuations and affect the profitability of local manufacturers. 3. Raw material sourcing. While many raw materials can be sourced locally, there are still challenges in ensuring consistent quality and supply, which can impact production. 4. Health and hygiene concerns. The affordability issue has forced some women to resort to unsanitary alternatives like tissues and cloth, posing significant health risks. Thank you,
All
sir.
right. Thank you. That is exhibit number 3. So let me give about 5 of you to make contribution. Then I will allow my professional colleague to also make contribution before I add 1 or 2 things to it.
Okay, can you hear me? I
Yeah.
don't know. So I was waiting to hear something about, let's say, the carbon footprint of using these materials in terms of sustainability. Like, so these materials are things that can be, which is what we currently face anyways in most of the materials used in making diapers and sanitary pads. So the waste or the materials once disposed of becomes waste, and it contributes to the carbon, to the, what's it called, uh I've forgotten the name, but it contributes to basically waste that's, the plastic, the nylon, the wrappers, all those things. So I didn't see anything on that, like the ecological factor.
Okay. Any other comments?
Yes. Okay, from this exhibit, I'm looking at also analyzing this particular exhibit using this Porter's diamond analysis, where we have to talk about the favorable factor condition, the industry, and this demand condition in home countries. I think we can also link this exhibit to that Porter's diamond analysis, because I'm seeing a lot of instances that can be linked to that particular model. Thank you.
Any other comments?
So I think what I want to point out is in this exhibit, we have some figures being quoted, and those figures, to me, it raises looking at skepticism, because they didn't tell us the source of the figures. They're just telling us $1 billion, something figures. It raises regional skepticism, and that's the only thing that could figure out.
Okay. Any other comment? I think that's number 3. Once I get to 5. Any other comments?
I noticed the years that they use. So they used most of the research, or whoever wrote this paper did it from 2021, 2026, then also spoke about 2027. Yeah.
That's all right. The last comment from the student. No last comment. Okay. Mr. Ali, do you have 1 or 2 things you would like to add to this exhibit number 3? Hello?
Okay, sorry, last comment. I still want to go back to that carbon footprint. So if you go to paragraph 2, where it says the diaper is made up of synthetic disposable materials or clothes, while disposable diapers are made of absorbent chemicals. So all those things are thrown away after use. You think of how, in terms of sustainability, how this thing has a negative effect. Let me just put it like that. Although they said there
Okay.
has been improvements in designs, biodegradable and all, but I want to also speak more on that area. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mr. Ali, are you still there? Can you hear me?
Hello, sir.
Hello?
Yeah, so I would like to speak on the estimate on this report. So though this has not been verified and it's giving much concern, and also on the part of the threats of this due to increase in the price of the sanitary parts and all that, which has led to the emergence of this sachet economy where people have to buy in bits, people buy diapers in bits rather than buying in packs. And the health and hygiene concerns of this, where most women, because they could not afford to buy even this sachet economy, they had to resort into use of tissues and clothes, which is posing uh, significant health risk.
Sorry, so still on the sustainability thing, I know that again they said to produce locally, so that's why we still need to speak on that sustainability thing because now you're no longer importing it. So producing locally, you need to think about the ecological factors and yeah.
Okay, so so exhibit number 3. Now, in exhibit 2, where we're given information about the Nigerian economy, right? I made a statement and I told you that whatever happens to the Nigerian economy will affect the industry in which your employer operates in, and by implication, we have direct impact on your employer. So now they have narrowed down the economy down to the industry. So we have the Nigerian diaper and sanitary pad industry. So what I want you to think is that whatever happens in the Nigerian economy, you will see that most of what they have stated in the Nigerian economy are also repeated here. Most of them are repeated here. I mean, and you should also know that these issues they are raising in the industry, we have direct impact on the business. Okay, so one of the issues they raised is they said that the global diaper market is around 69.5 billion in 2020, and it's expected to get to 114.3 billion by 2027. And this signifies growth in that industry. Okay, so there is a potential for growth in the industry. That is what that information is giving to you. Meanwhile, I had someone say that these figures are not verified. Please, these are not the figures you are skeptical about industry, and they are expected to be verified data. They are industry data. They are verified data. The figure you can be skeptical about is maybe when the company is giving out some other data. Those ones. That's not what we are saying. But this particular figure, they are expected to be treated as verified data. Okay, so like I was saying, the global diaper industry is expected to grow till 2027. Okay, which means that of course by now we don't really know. We have not been told what the company is producing, but I want to believe that because this is industry information, so it will likely be that your employer is producing one of these two products. So it then means that if your employer is producing diapers, right, it means that there is that chance that that industry, that product, that market will continue to experience growth. And why is this important for you to know? There may be a situation whereby, because of the impact of the economic decision on the companies or on the industry, whereby they already told us that many companies are winding up. Okay, so it could be possible that your employer is already considering to wind up. Then this is one of the data that you can use to back up your advice on whether they should not wind up, for the meantime, because some of these effects they are experiencing are temporary, just like we have been told. Okay, and they also said that the diaper market will grow, have an annual compound annual growth rate of about 8.1% between 2022 to 2027. So again, that means because your employer is part of this market, because it's a global market, they are giving us data about global market. So your employer is part of this market. So we should expect that the diaper revenue stream should be growing very close to 8.1%. So there could be a situation whereby we need to do, analysis of the revenue streams. Okay, whether they want to close down one or the other. Then, if one is not growing up to the quoted growth rate, then we may analyze that, or we may say that, or we may conclude that that revenue stream is performing below the global performance rate. Okay, then they gave us data about the sanitary part as well, and the same thing applies. It is expected to grow, right? It is expected to grow, but this time the growth rate is now about 4.7%. So if you are looking at the revenue stream analysis, so you have something to compare with. Okay, you have something to compare with. Now, they also gave us another data and said that the population of the Nigerian population is about 220 million people, and that the growth rate is expected to be 5.7% per annum. Now, what this is saying is that the industry is expected to continue to grow. The industry is expected to continue to grow, and if the population is growing, that means many people will be giving birth to children, and they will need the diapers, and they need the sanitary pad, and that means there will be need the company will always sell. Okay, the company will always say. That is what that information is trying to give to us, that over 220 million Nigerians. That is what we are. And the growth rate is expected to be at 5.7% annually. So it means that the population will continue to grow, thereby more people will continue to demand for these products, and that means that the company will continue to make sales. So again, if the company is considering winding up again, this is another data to convince them otherwise, right? And there's another point they made, that the production is less than 20% of demand. Production is less than 20% of demand, and that importation is 80%. Okay, importation is 80%, which means that I think we were told, is it in this exhibit, that importation will be stopped now. So because now we can also think about this administration that is working towards stopping importation of products and services. That means that if the importation of these diapers is stopped, right, it means that the market will be so opened. the market will be so opened, competition will be eliminated, and that your employer can have access to more markets to be to sell to. Okay, that is another opportunity there, right? Once importation is stopped, okay, that means your employer can always sell more, So there is no need for the company to wind up. We also said yes. So the following information, they now said government intends to stop importation. Just like I said, once importation is stopped, that means Nigerians will have no other option than to buy the locally produced diapers and sanitary pads. And this gives them a very strong growth prospect. After that, they then talked about opportunities and challenges. Meanwhile, in SCP2, just like my senior colleague had said, that it is highly likely that you are going to be asked to look at to make use of PESTLE model, and by implication to do SWOT analysis, and by implication you need to use PESTLE model. So here we have been given certain opportunities in the external environment and as well as threats. We're told that there's possibility of high demand because on one side importation will be stopped. Okay, population is high and there is potential growth in the population in the future. So the demand will be high, which means your employer will continue to sell more. Okay, to sell more. And that there's local production potential to fill in the gap of that 80% once importation is stopped. And the other opportunity is technological advancement. So we're told that there's need to be sustainable, to practice sustainable production. Now it means that it is possible that your employer can take advantage of technological advancement to get some of these modern advanced machine that can help in producing these eco-friendly products. Okay, so there is that opportunity for them to get this machine that can help them to produce eco-friendly products, right? And this also points to the idea that the other side of this case may be that the company may want to invest in this sort of machine that can help to comply with the government environmental policies, that can help them to produce all these products that can be that are reusable. Okay, and there is another opportunity is government support, because government is really interested in this economy, in this industry. And the major reason why they are interested is because of the importation. The importation puts pressure on forex, and they are bent on taking away this pressure on the forex. Okay, so they are really interested, and they will be interested to support businesses. So your employer can also take advantage of this government support in getting maybe the necessary machines that can help them to comply with the environmental policies, or that can help them to make products, sanitary pad, and what's the other product that can that are reusable and will be environmentally friendly. Having said that, they also mention threats that are in the environment. They mentioned threats in the environment. They talked about economic challenges, which we have mentioned before: inflation, and high cost of living. Competition from import is another threat in the economy. Meanwhile, although they can take advantage of the elimination of this competition due to the stoppage of importation of these products, okay, they can take advantage of that. Then raw material sourcing is another threat, because currently, okay, except that we don't have that information yet, we may see later that the company's source for these raw materials, okay, the company's source for these raw materials, you know, the majority of these raw materials is imported, right? And that there is shortage in local production of this material. So it's a threat. So even if the government stops the importation of these materials, they may even find it challenging to source for this material locally in order to meet up with the 100% demand. So again, we have identified some opportunities, we have identified some threats, we have even identified some other factors. Okay, so though I'm yet to see the strength internal, so I'm yet to see the strength of the complaint in this regard. So maybe when we see the next exhibit, we might see those strengths that can help us to complete the SWOT model. Okay, so that will be all for exhibit number 3. That will be all for exhibit number 3. Can we move to exhibit number 4?
Hello.
I can hear you. Hello. Yes, hello.
Sir, please, can I, before we move to exhibit 4?
Okay, I've been calling your attention since.
Yes, I was raising my hand. Yes,
Sorry. I'm sharing the
no
screen. I
problem.
could not see
Before we move to exhibit
I could
4,
not see that. Oh,
please,
sorry.
I will employ the student to please check the material I send on the platform. You will see that in that exhibit 3, you will need SWOT analysis as well, because most of these exhibits require you to do an X-ray of this information provided. So by the time you've done your SWOT analysis, it will make the exhibit to be very simple. You will know the direction where you are going, and whichever way the examiner is coming, it will be easier for you to know the intent of the examiner and how you are going to approach the exam. Thank you. You can go to that exhibit 3. Bless you, my team lead. So when you look at that exhibit 3, so we are almost there. Fantastic. So when you look at that exhibit 3, we are seeing the highlights. This highlight helps you in that it gives you the summary of the major things that we have in that exhibit. It has been summarized. The major customers of the sanitary pad and the, what's it called? Sanitary pad and this other product, diapers, has been there. The babies, adults, and what have you. We are informed that there is increasing use and demand by the consumers. There is a quest and accelerating demand for green manufacturing. Customers are not being skeptical. They are now having demand for a friendly eco product that will guarantee them safety. But how can we sustain it? We see over time. We have enhanced technology and innovation. And my team leader mentioned it. We are provided with increasing, part of the information, we have increasing compound annual growth rate of Diaper, that is 8.1 between 2022 to 2027. And the same thing occurred to that of global sanitary pad too. That one is increasing at a pace of 4.7. So all the information that we need has been provided in that highlight. So what you are now expected to do is to do a sort of a SWOT analysis of that exhibit 3. Please ensure that you look at this SWOT analysis very well, because it will assist you in your remark and judgment. So in the SWOT analysis, what are the strengths provided in exhibit 3? Our strength is we have 1, increasing usage and demand by the customers. Viable industry. The industry is highly attractive, and it still have future potential growth and sustainability. We have improvement in design, biodegradability, and the product safety. Immense acceptance of product and brand across the country. Another strength is government support. Government is keen and interested in supporting this sector, so that we are going to reduce the undue reliance on importation and fill the gap in the industry. So the weaknesses pointed out in exhibit 3 are shortfall in supply. You can see that despite the fact that we have 24 companies operating in the industry presently, so locally we can be able to provide just 20% of the total demand by the populace. That means 80% of these products are being imported. So that's the reason why we have a shortfall in supply. We have a low and deficient technology. So the level of technology in Nigeria is at low ebb. You will see it in that passage, or probably in the next exhibit, where they are saying that most of the manufacturer depends on import technology. So at the same time, we have deficiency in production techniques, and the quality of the product we have is low. So what are the opportunities that abound in the industry? We have government support, profitable investment, potential sourcing of packaging and materials locally are there. So check all these things, and above all, you look at the threats facing the industry. The threats are: 1, influx of foreign products and competitors; 2, lack of sustainable supply chain; 3, high competition; 4, declining sales and profitability of local products. And we have pronounced an increasing switching behavior by the consumers, because majority of the consumers, they have preference for foreign products that are available in the Nigerian market, and possible health risks and danger. So like I think it was Chidima that pointed out that she was of the view that Porter's diamond theory can be used here. So I want you to have that intellectual capability, intuitiveness, to know that, okay, what are the models that you can recommend for any of these exhibits? Fine. If you want to use Porter Diamond's theory here, it is applicable too. Because in the Porter Diamond theory, we have 4 interlocking strategies that the company can use to gain national and international competitive advantage and sustainability. So using Porter's Diamond theory now, then we are going to inform the company, DEFCON, that they can use Porter's Diamond theory to analyze how they can achieve their sustainability and improve competitiveness using: 1, the demand factor; 2, factor condition; 3, support from related companies; and 4, that is firm strategy, structure, and rivalry. So for the company now, they have to look at the demand factor. And when you look at it locally within Nigeria, the demand for the sanitary part and their part is on the increase. In fact, despite the fact that we have close to 25 companies operating in Nigeria, they have not been able to meet up with the teeming demand. The demand keeps increasing. So this one can force the company to increase their production capacity. It will force the company to invest in research and design, innovation and technology, and recruit more staff with technical experience that can enhance the quality of the products and the design, so that I can be able to match with the foreign product that flooded the Nigerian market. 2, in the factor condition, Porter told us that we have 2 basic factors condition. We have the basic factor and we have the advanced factor. The basic factors are the likes of land, labor, water, soil and water view, increasing population, and the rest. Nigeria have this in abundance, but they are underutilized. So if the government mean business, they have to see to effective use of these basic factors, including DEFCON. So the advanced factors refers to investment in technology, human capital development, infrastructural development, because already we have been told in Exhibit 2 that we are facing infrastructural decay in Nigeria. Bad roads and many more, insecurity. All these things are the things that affect sustainability. They have to look into it. So both the advanced factors and the basic factor, we have to look at it. And then we have support from related companies. You can see in that support from related companies, the companies operating here in Nigeria, they have potential for future expansion and profitability, all because the government is contemplating to stop importation of foreign products, or because the government is ready to go to any length to assist them in the areas of innovation and sustainability, and including the compliance to both local and international sustainability law. So at the same time, this exhibit number 3, you can as well look at another model that is applicable, that can give the company opportunity to have an edge. Like for instance now, answer growth matrix can be applicable here too, because the answer growth matrix says company can use 4 strategies to achieve sustainable growth and profitability, including improved competitiveness. And what are the strategies that Igor Ansov put? He said, 1, we have product development, market development, market penetration, and diversification. You can even see that the company is trying to diversify, and at the same time, government too is trying to diversify the economy to nurture the growth of the sanitary pad and diapers, so that would be another alternative source of revenue and job creation and economic viability. So these are another contributions that I have as far as that is concerned. So there's no limit to the number of model or theories that you can use. Value chain analysis is applicable here. And you can even recommend if the company can use portal generic strategies that comprises of cost leadership strategy, focus strategy, differentiation strategy, and differentiation focus strategy. So thank you. So we can move to exhibit 4.
Hello, can anybody hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
Yes.
You were thrown out before. We can hear you.
Yes, I got thrown out. Okay, so like I was saying, exhibit 4, I said that we are told that DEFCON manufactures and sell the 2 products we have been reading about, the diapers and the sanitary parts. Fortunately, we have been given the global growth rate of these diapers, and we have concluded that it means that these products will continue to sell. So should, in case your employer is planning on winding up the business and moving to another country because of the economic situation of the country, you should be in that position to advise that these indices, these global and local indices that we have read, that we have, this data that we have shows that some of these effects are temporary, and there is growth potential for this product. Meanwhile, we're also told that the business started operation in 2005, and if we are reporting in 2025, that makes it 20 years that the business has been in operation. If we are reporting in 2024, that will likely be about 19 years the business has been in operation. Any business that has been in operation for 19 years is already a grown business in that industry or sector, and will likely be the market leader because of the experience the business has had over the years. Okay. So now we are also told that, please listen, because this place is very important. We are also told that the company has 3 major factories and 37 depots across the country. There's the depot in Ikeja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Kaduna. Okay, these are the 3 factories. And I mean, these are the 3 factories, and there are 37 depots across many countries. Okay, so the depots will likely be where they do their marketing and selling activities. All right. Meanwhile, we were told that 70% of the raw materials for production. So I'm under production and marketing. I'm unable to share my screen right now. I need permission from from one of the directors. I'm not sure it's online yet right now. So about 70% of the raw materials are imported. What is the implication of this information? Okay, what does this imply? It means that when they are importing these raw materials, we have been told that there is there is exchange rate fluctuation in exchange rate. Okay, and the rate is very high, which means the company, your employer will need more naira to buy this foreign exchange in order to get these products imported, which means the company is already is already bringing in imported inflation, which means this inflation will affect the cost of production of the company. The cost of production will be high. Are you with me? And the way they can recover this cost of production is to do what? Is to pass it to the customer in form of what? Increased prices. Now, one thing we have learned in this administration is that people are now economically wise. So once the price of a product is high, what happens? People go for what? Alternative, which means people may likely have abandoned DEFCON's what? Products, and they are going for alternative. Now, how can we know? This will likely it will likely affect the financial statement of the organization. So what you might see is that maybe in 2023, in 2024, or maybe from 2021 to 2024, right, you may see that the revenue of the company may be going down while the cost may be going up, which may affect what? The profit of the company. It may affect the demand and sales and profit of the company, right? All right. So we were also told that 30% were sourced locally. It means they need to start thinking of how to get more materials locally sourced. The company needs to start thinking about that. Okay. There's another information that I think we should expatiate on. They said that the production technical director operates from Lagos, Ikeja. Now, it then means that our factories where we produce, right? Our factories where we produce are in Ikeja, Port Harcourt, and Kaduna. And the production technical director, okay, production technical director that controls these production activities only operates from Ikeja, except we are given information as to maybe there are production managers in the other two locations. Except we are given information that there are production managers in other two locations. It could mean that there will likely be lapses in production. There will likely be lapses in production because it may not be able to control all the production activities, including sourcing of materials, managing what do you call it? The production process, the labor, and all that, and there may be lapses. I feel that is what the information is trying to pass to us, that there may be lapses due to lack of adequate management of this process, and there may be delay in production process. Customer may be dissatisfied, and there may be low customer, loss of customer to competitors. That may result into loss of customer competitors. And we're also told about the marketing director in charge of sales and marketing, that he is operating from Ikeja. and he has sales force and the depot managers, under him. And it means that there are 37 depots. Okay, there are 37 depots, and the information is saying that he has just one sales force person and one depot and one depot manager. Let me confirm that. I want to confirm that if it is just one depot manager, let me see. Production and marketing. They said the marketing director oversees the sales and marketing activities of the company. Sales force and depot managers, so their managers are controlled by the national sales manager based in Ikeja. Sales, promotional, and advertisement activities are directed in the head office from the office of the marketing director. Okay, so we have depot managers, overseeing depots. So except that we have these 37 depot managers, there may be issues in each of the depots. There may be lapses in sales. There may be customer dissatisfaction. I mean, these are possible issues that could come up under this under the marketing activities. Okay, under the marketing activities. And we are also told that there is sales promotion is being carried out from the office of the marketing director in Ikeja, right? And it could mean that possible issues that could come up there is that since he's the one overseeing the marketing activities and we have about 37 depots, so he may not be able to target, even if he's running paid advertisements, he may not be able to target these people more better. Unlike when we have about different sales managers manning each of these 37 depots, they may be able to target the customers in these local communities, which will improve in their selling activities. Okay, what I'm saying is that if you look at these issues that we are seeing, we have seen that there could be issue around we have been given information around the sourcing of materials, right? We have been given information around the sourcing of materials. We have seen information around, the production and marketing. We have seen, and I've told you the possible issues that could come up under that angle, and we have been given information around marketing and sales, right? So to me personally, this is a pointer that the production activities, we may see that we may have a particular issue on our hand where there may be issues around the production activities of the company, including the sourcing of materials, that is the input stage, the production input activity, production activity, and output activity, and marketing and sales. And all of these centers around value chain of the organization. Okay, so we may have a situation of that may warrant us to make use of value chain model. I mean, that is just my own that is what I think about this information. I look at where the direction the case is possibly going with the little information I have. So that is a pointer. Okay, that is a pointer to me that we may be having issues around the production activities of the organization. And lastly, under the Exhibit 4, we were given information about the board. They said the board has 6 members, 5 executive directors and 1 non-executive directors. On one side, the directors have tried. They have tried to balance the arrangement of the board by having a non-executive director that can challenge on their decisions. However, because there is just one non-executive director, and if they subject any decision to voting, he may not have a strong say. Their voice will always, overshadow his own contribution. Okay, that may be the impact of that. Okay, then that could result into because they have balanced they have executive directors that may give them efficient decision making. They have set up they have the board and they have the management, so that may give them efficient decision making, but because there is no so much directors and not so much non-executive directors, they may not have different perspectives to potential conflict of interest or potential issues that they want to resolve on the board. So they may not have different perspectives because they are limited in number. Okay, they are limited in number, and that would be for that exhibit number 4. And again, to recap on the exhibit number 4, I believe this exhibit number 4 is giving us information around the business operation, around DEFCON business operation, that there may be potential issues going on in the operations of the business. And if that be the case, when we see the precinct, it is likely that we may need to use the Porter's value chain model. Please note that all of these models that we have been suggesting are not to say that it's a must that you must do business analysis. No, the requirement is superior to whatever we have said tonight. The requirement you eventually get is the major thing. If the requirement does not ask you for business analysis, it then means that you are not doing business analysis. That is it. It's as simple as that. If it is not doing that, you are not doing business analysis. Okay. Now, because I'm looking at the time, I will quickly run through the exhibit 5. I will run through the exhibit 5. In exhibit 5, we are told that it's on DEFCON's response to environmental and sustainability concerns. So there are concerns about environment and sustainability. So the management have now responded. From their response, they now approve some strategies to embrace green production. They say they want to be efficient in their resource. They want to reduce waste. They want to protect the environment, and they want to use sustainable materials. Now, if they are to implement these strategies, it then means that they may be considering an investment decision in advanced plants and machine that can help them to improve on grain production. Okay, so that may be a pointer to the fact that they may have to invest in that. And they said that sustainable production method to be considered. They listed some sustainable production method they want to consider. Biodegradable materials, if they are to consider that, or they want to use organic cotton or reusable parts. These are some of it. And design and durability. Okay, eco-friendly manufacturing processes, water consumption, sustainable packaging. Now, any of these methods that they would like to consider, it will likely result into them, the company investing in advanced plants and machine, which means you may need to do a kind of project appraiser. So to recap on what we have said so far, in Exhibit 1, we are given your responsibilities. In Exhibit 2, we are given information about the Nigerian economy, where we see some challenges, some opportunities, and some challenges and opportunities, which are external, which can be classified as opportunity or what, or threat. Okay. Then in exhibit number 3, we are given the information as regards the diaper industry. And I told you that whatever happens in the Nigerian economy, again, we affect the industry, and by implication, we affect the business. Okay, it will affect the business. Okay, and we have said that it is possible that you may it is possible. So to cap it off, it is possible that the direction that this case could be going, when you get the unseen, is that you could have a business analysis requirement. You could be given a business analysis requirement, which could require that you make use of value chain model. It could require you make use of value chain model, PESTLE model, a SWOT model, or maybe Porter's 5 forces model to evaluate the impact of competition in the industry. That is one. Two, the case could also go in the direction of say that they want to invest in plant and machine in order to comply with their in order to implement their what do you call it? In order to implement their strategies to embrace grain production. So they may want to invest, and you may need to do a kind of project appraiser. You may need to do a kind of project appraiser. And lastly, because there's no way you want to do you want to analyze a business that you not consider the financial statement of the organization, financial analysis. So it is possible you also have a requirement to do financial analysis, even based on the exhibit 1 that we consider. So you may also have that. So every 3 scenarios are possible. The financial statement analysis is possible. The financial data analysis is possible. The operational and strategic analysis is also possible. Again, the financial statement is where you look at the financial statement, analyze it by using trend, ratios, and all that to know whether to determine the performance, to determine the performance of the organization, whether the business is growing or not, or declining. Then the financial data analysis is where you may need to appraise a certain project. Okay, where you may need to appraise a certain project. And operational and strategic analysis is where you may need to look at issues around the business operation. And that is where you may need to make use of models in analyzing the business and its environment. So these are the 5 exhibits we are given in the case. Meanwhile, because the exhibit looks so scanty, I've tried to for the past 4 days now, since the case came out, the precinct came out, I've been working on creating a scenario that can test these 3 analytical skills. I've worked on a scenario that can test these 3 analytical skills. So I will share it with you on your platforms. That is for practice purpose only. It is for practice purpose only. It does not mean that is what the examiner will ask of you. Please, this is a disclaimer. This is a disclaimer that I am not an examiner. I'm a lecturer, and I only have information to the extent of which you have as well as a student. That is the information I have. The only difference is that I can see, due to my experience over the years that I've been taking this paper, I can project. I can see the case in different direction, and I can project, and that is what I've done. And that does not mean that this unseen that I will share with you, or the pre-scene kind of pre-scene report that I've written is what will eventually come out of the exam. No, these are just my my predictions. Okay. Okay, so please, you should use it with utmost responsibility. You should use it with utmost responsibility. You should not take these materials to the exam, or you cannot even share the material around too. Okay, because apart from the fact that I will share it because I want to help our students at Equity. Okay, so they are not to be shared around, right? They are not to be shared around. Okay, and that will be all. Do you have any question before we close for tonight? Any question before we close? Any question?
My side is no question, but just appreciation. We appreciate you and thank you for your effort towards our achievement or progress in this exam. Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, I joined late. Well, the one I met you discussing, I really appreciate this. I don't know, sir, if we can put this on our platform so that I missed it from the beginning so that I can recap all that you have said, sir.
Okay, I will try as much as possible to get the video. The class is being recorded. I will try as much as possible to get the video across all platforms so that everybody can have access to the video.
Okay, sir. Thank you. We appreciate you. God will continue to increase you in knowledge and wisdom, sir.
Amen. Thank you. Any other comments?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you louder.
Oh, great. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the time that you've taken for this. My question is in relation to the beginning. That's the cover page. I recall that you earlier mentioned that since it would most likely be an internal report, we wouldn't need to put a disclaimer. If we put it, are we going to be penalized, or we should just not include it at all?
Don't include it at all. There's no need to include it. You'll only waste your time doing that.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Thank you.
You can save that time of writing disclaimer to do something more productive.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. So sorry. I spoke first during that exhibit 1, but I got back late. I was just listening and I could not ask questions. I wanted to ask under that exhibit 3, under business environment.
Okay.
I don't know. There's this part where they said, in addition, government regulations regarding environmental pollution, emissions, and waste disposal are becoming stricter, and there's growing emphasis on sustainable, economy-friendly products.
Okay.
Now, I am trying to relate, just to ask, are there any government, I don't know if it was discussed, any government regulation agency that can be related to this diaper and sanitary pad industry? Initially, I was thinking of probably saying NAFDAC. Do I know they deal with more of a food drugs agency and thereabouts? I don't know if there's a possibility for anything related to a regulatory agency.
I think there is an agency in charge of that. Is it NEMA?
No, sir. It's SON.
SON. Standard Organization of Nigeria.
Yes,
Okay.
SON.
What about National Environmental Management Agency, NEMA?
That one also.
There's also health and safety regulation, something. And there's that too. So I'm just trying to ask for the possibility.
Possibility of what?
Hello, sir.
Hello?
Although I don't know, Mr. Sam, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, in addition to what you're saying, I got you a bit, but also want to remind us of the fact that we are to try as much as possible to limit ourselves to the information that is given to us. We are not we can bring ideas, but when it comes to those areas, and maybe when we are talking about the sustainability factors, or when we are talking about the environment
or policies,
or the policies. We
Policies
are
and
to work on
regulations.
base the exhibit, what the exhibit giving to us. You going further to mention NAFDAC when they didn't mention NAFDAC, I don't think is really, really necessary. We are to just limit on the information, work on the information they give to us.
Yes, that is correct.
Very
I don't
correct.
know, just
Why I brought this up is I think I've seen some previous questions before now. Though this is coming up because there's no unseen.
yeah,
Where they will now use regulatory body to probably
yeah,
write a
right,
letter or something,
yeah,
but
right,
it's still what it is. Walk around this.
yeah, right.
So if they
Then
bring that up later, then you make use of the information. But this is the
make use of.
information that we have now. We can't go beyond. I mean, we can't because we don't know the mind of the examiner, so we can't go beyond what we
Sir,
already have.
hello, sir.
Hello, I can hear you. Go on.
Yeah, one more question for you, sir. So since this is
Yes.
an internal report, that means it's going to take a format of memo being at the address, right?
Yes, it can.
It can.
Yes, yes. It can be in form of memo. But report is report. That is
Yeah,
to
I know,
me,
I know.
report is report. So it just follow the format of the reporting we have learned. So maybe the cover page may just be different. How you want to show the cover page. But what I believe is that the cover the whole report structure that we have learned in this in our lecture is okay. You can use it, is acceptable. The only difference is you just take away what do you call it? Maybe disclaimer
Memo.
and maybe background to the business, because that will be useless.
What
Do you
what of
understand?
the
Background
heading?
to the heading, every other thing is useful. Every other thing is useful. Every other thing is useful for reports. Every other thing is useful. You could just take away the disclaimer and the background to the complaint. Those are the two things I think we can remove from our normal, so that we don't have problem in how do I structure the report. No, there's no issue with it. Just take away disclaimer and maybe background to the business.
Okay, hello, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I want to ask, is it compulsory that we include table of content in the introductory part of the report?
Okay. You see, I won't say it is compulsory because there is no mark allocated to that. If you remember when we were doing how case study is assessed, there was nothing like where they mentioned table of contents. No, there's no mark to that. However, when the last two when they reviewed the syllabus in November 2019, and prior to November 2019, we never had a report format. Students will always write report anyhow they like. Because of that issue, many students have failed. So they needed to correct that and improve on the reporting. So they gave students a template, a report writing format. And the table of content came with the report format that they gave. There is no mark attached to it, but it is in the report format. So it's left for you to decide whether you will add it or not. I can't decide that for you. If you find it not useful, not relevant to you or something, you can take it out. If you feel that, well, it's part of professional report writing to include table of content and all that, probably you can use it.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So
Okay.
sorry, I'm still bringing us back to this exhibit 3 because of the kind of industry that we're talking about here and the way some of these products, I mean diaper and sanitary pad, are used. Eventually, the aftermath, they are thrown away. It has to do with even health issues. By throwing those stuff away eventually, I really want to ask, are there any models that can be used probably to checkmate or measure ethical issues.
No, there's no ethical issue in that now.
Okay. I'm just trying to see where they can come from. I'm just thinking out wide a bit too.
There's no ethical issue in that.
Okay.
It's just that may not be sustainable. Government regulations are going against those things. So they just need to find a way to make products that are environmentally friendly. Maybe those that people can start reusing for maybe 2-3 times, and it will reduce the rate at which they dispose them to the environment.
Yeah. In addition to that, that can equally also fall into our PESTLE analysis. When you come to ecology, that talks about environmental sustainability. So it talks about polluting the environment and so on. So I think that should also come to that area when we're analyzing with the PESTLE analysis under ecology.
Okay, thank you so much. That serves it right.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much. So on a final note, personally, I want to thank you for staying with us to guide you for this paper. I want to say thank you to you for giving us the listening ear, and for going through the classes and all that. I want to say thank you, and I would like to advise you that as at this moment, everything you need to pass this exam has been given to you, including the report writing process. That report writing process is a process that you just need to apply to this case again, and it will work. And it is a process that even the assessors will also apply to solve the case, so it will work. So I will advise you to follow our processes. On the exam day, you have already read you already know everything about the pressing. You may not need to spend so much time on it. Go straight to your requirements, study the requirement, break it down, then read the unseen very well. Read the unseen maybe 2-3 times very quickly. Then you start your report writing. You prepare your appendix and start your report writing. You just you stick to the process. Okay, stick to step by step of the process in order to get a fantastic report written. And with this, myself and my colleague, Mr. Ali, we wish you all the best in this, your May 2025 case study exam. Okay? Thank you. And good night, everyone.